Guarding your nest egg, the podcast. So very important, and especially important when you can look somebody, straight in the eye and ask them a few questions. I like that part of this, Mike.
There you go. Here I am. Ask away.
We're so thankful that you have chosen to click on us, listen to us, whatever it is, and spend a little time with us. But before I get to the important information, Mike, about the Fed and the recent market rally and the concerns people have, I wanted to bring something up that took me back in time a million years. I just, in the mail today, received a handwritten letter like I'm in middle school from one of my best friends with little...
stickers?
Yeah, stickers all over it and everything. Just saying, hey, and friend, I miss you. And we live out of state and,
Does she have kids and stuff?
She does. So
Okay,
the stickers
so
are probably...
the stickers are probably around somewhere, but that's nice and creative, yeah.
But it was also just a neat, hug from afar. People don't do that stuff anymore.
No, the text and email there's something about handwritten stuff. We all want things so fast now. It takes too long for the letter to get there. But that's nice she did that. And a surprise, like you said. I'd be pretty surprised. The only thing I get in the mail are, hey, my kid's graduating. Some money.
Especially right now.
But they're not handwritten,
Well, all right. The nitty gritty of what we really need to be discussing is after, 10 in a row, the Fed paused its historic rate hike campaign. And Jerome Powell even said none of the policymakers are forecasting cuts for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. So now we just kind of sit back and wait and relax and see how the economy responds. However, during the few trading days we've had since, Mike, we've seen a bit of a rally. And that's weird to me. I mean, we've got Trump with this whole indictment thing. We've got all this stuff with China. And then the Fed going, no, we'll pause rates and just going to see how things go. And then the market rallies. Okay.
Right.
So does this mean the likelihood of a recession impacting our retirement accounts is actually declining because the market's responding decently to news like this?
I don't know that the chance of a recession is declining. I think the market's reacting more to whether or not they think the Fed is going to continue to raise rates. So basically what they said is we're going to pause, but we think we're going to raise rates 2 more times this year. I think the market's looking at it very similar to how we're looking at it. We decided to make changes to our portfolios based on the news that was going to come out. We felt very strongly they would pause and that would probably be good for markets. And so we made some changes to try to take advantage of that. But when it comes to the way the market's looking at it and rally is what the market, I think, is assuming is that the Fed won't raise rates 2 more times this year. So they've taken a pause and they won't raise. And the biggest reason or indicator I could point to for that is because of recession. So if we have inflation already coming down,
and that is happening, thank goodness.
It is happening. It is sort of ticking down, so that's good. If it continues to tick down, right, they've said they want it significantly lower even than 4%. But as it continues to tick down, the question is it going to do it fast or slow? But if there's a recession, that could also help it tick down lower. So the recession itself could actually prevent the Fed from raising 2 more times.
Hold on a second. You're saying a recession could actually be a good thing?
Could be a great thing for inflation, right? They stop spending, right? So they get tighter with their money. They're not on their spending, and the inflation part starts coming down. Markets aren't always bad in recessions. It doesn't mean we're going to have a bad market because we have a recession. But I still think markets will probably be lower between now and the end of the year. But because the Fed has paused and inflation could probably continue to come down, I think the summer. That might have smoothed out the summer a little bit, right? Okay. Not a lot of fear of what the Fed's going to do, not as much apprehension about inflation, maybe gives the market a little bit of a break. But at the end of the day, if companies, if we're in a recession and companies are forecasting lower profits, people are getting laid off, spending less, that's probably not good for the market for a little while. I do think the market's a little higher than it should be. But, as it goes right now with the Fed and what they're doing and with what we think the next couple of months in the markets look like, probably not as much volatility in our opinion.
So, by the way, Powell also said with a big, seriously, rates will be cut when inflation comes down. So basically, mortgage rates and everything are going to linger where they are until all these things occur.
Right. Yeah, mortgage rates, any loan rate is probably going to linger around where it is. The Fed doesn't have a lot of incentive to cut rates if inflation's already coming down, right? By cutting rates, they could actually reverse what's going on, which is they want it coming down. If they cut rates, it might start going back up.
Sure.
So it's just it's a way to control the money supply. That's what they do. If they want you to spend less, they make money more expensive by raising rates. If they want you to spend more to get the economy going, they lower rates to make it happen. So I think cuts, again, nobody's going to ask me at the Fed,
Hello, Mike. How are you?
What do you think? But what I do think is it's going to be a while before they cut rates.
So, Mike, I guess I'm wondering what people coming into the office at Talon Wealth are concerned about, asking about, and seeking solutions for in this weird, lingering economic time.
Well, solutions for income, solutions for growth, solutions for protection of assets. These are things that people that are retired or close to it are looking for week after week. Talking to a lot of people that really their retirement plan, their 401k, their 403b, their TSP account, whatever that plan is that they have at work, for a lot of them actually looks pretty good right now. Maybe not as good as it's ever looked, but pretty good. But they feel like we do. There's a recession looming. They feel like we do. The market's likely to do worse than it currently is. And when you take a look at the options in those retirement plans, they're very limited as far as what you can do. Basically, it's lifestyle funds, target date funds, a few other options that will do bad if markets do poorly. They'll also do bad if bonds do poorly. And then maybe a cash option. And so a lot of them are saying, what do I do if there's going to be a lot of volatility? And they have a few options. But if they're over 59.5, as we talk about a lot on the show, you probably have a lot more options. Most companies allow within their plans to do what's called an in-service distribution if you're 59.5 or older. The potential advantages of that, and I see it as an advantage for most of the people that we talk to, is potentially reduction in fees on it because 401ks can be expensive. Certainly an increase in investment options instead of just a small basket of options, sort of unlimited options to invest in out there. We can take a look at all of the options available as opposed to just a few.
Okay.
But then also people can take advantage of active management of a portfolio that just doesn't exist in 401ks. And so for a lot of people that we're talking to, they have those concerns. They want to find out more about active management. Could it help them with this volatility? Could it help them increase returns? Could it help them reduce risk? Could it help them reduce fees? And find out whether or not it's a benefit for them. But yeah, there are people who are concerned. And we don't see a lot of optimism out there right now in the markets for investors.
It's unfortunate, but at the same time, it sounds like that's kind of the cycle of what's to happen here. I mean, I'm looking you face to face. You don't seem concerned. It's not that you aren't worried. It's just that the market, everything evolves, right? It's all a cycle, and we have to have the best plan for that cycle.
Yeah, we're very conservative in our managed portfolios right now. That doesn't seem like a good time to be taking risk. Could the market trend a little higher over the summer? Yeah, I think it could. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But when it really does decide to correct itself, that's going to be a very, very hard thing to time, right? Mm-hmm. So if the market doesn't have a lot of upside potential, which we don't think it does, but it potentially has a lot of downside potential, you want to find investments to protect yourself at that point in time. So right now we talk about it, cash money, just in things like money market accounts and most portfolios. If you look hard enough, you can get, and it changes every day, Kristen, so nobody can hold me to the exact number, but it's in the mid 4%.
Oh, okay.
If you look around. So if you have the option of, let's say, if you could get 4.5% on liquid money right now, safe money right now, versus where the market's going to go. Well, do you think your account in the market's going to be up 4.5% over the next year? If not, why are you taking any risk in the portfolio? And if you do think it's going to be up 4% or more next year, well, how much more, right? So in order to encourage somebody to take risk in the market, you need to be able to earn more than 4.5% over the next year. Otherwise, why would you take risk? And so you got to be able to measure that, balance it, and figure out how much risk are you taking to get the return in your portfolio, and what is the likelihood of that continuing to happen moving forward. That's what the analysis is all about.
And obviously, if anyone, listening, viewing, has questions about this, they can go to guardingyournestegg.com and contact you, one of our other fiduciaries, because we have offices coast to coast. They can also find the office closest to them. And the great thing is, yes, we have a YouTube channel. We are so happy you are here watching us for our weekly podcast. Video podcast, I should say. And then there's also our weekly audio podcast available on your favorite podcast platform, wherever you want to grab it. That way you can stay up to date. And Mike, I hope you have a good rest of the week. And if you're lucky, you'll get a letter from a friend.
I may have to, maybe I'll send something like that out to my friends and then see how many of them send something back.
Good idea.
I feel like you would. I don't feel like too many of my guy friends are going to put stickers on.
That's a valid point.
Send them back to me. Particularly not butterflies or whatever that, fairies or whatever.
And
that
hearts
was
and that's a lot going on there.
I should do that just to see the reaction I get when they open the mailbox. So,
have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching. Go to guardingyournestegg.com for your free and objective personal financial plan.